Hi, I'm John Atack. This is Lyrical Wax.
Hi, I'm Ursula Wake, and in this episode, we're going to be reading a bit more of our poetry that we've written about each other. In a previous episode, we read some out that was about the very start of a relationship. So, because we got to know each other during the first lockdown of 2020, there was a very long time, remarkably long time, where there was no physical contact. We were most of the time a metre or more apart, and lots of time for many poems to be written. So these are some of them.
Yep. And we wore biohazard suits during the first month just to make sure. This is from the 21st of June. This will not be the last hesitation, but this is still the time of hesitation. Will my gushing scare you? Is poetry allowed? Or will it stimulate some unknown panic, foreboding rather than fulfillment? I give my heart quickly. I'm reluctant to take it back, a constant star by which to set the compass if your heart demands the journey. Bound, broken and debased, I care nothing for folly, for reputation, only for words that sing and the exact power of love. The next few weeks will calm my vacillation, bind me to the shine, or puff out the light. Prepare for the worst, but anticipate the best.
I love that phrase, bind me to the shine. That's a lovely one.
Which is what happened.
And so it's clear from that although we'd been writing poems, is poetry allowed? It was a while before we actually said, oh, I've been writing these poems.
Yeah, will it put you off?
So although these are in chronological order and do tell a story, we didn't know about each other's poems for a while.
We knew that we wrote. Each of us knew that the other wrote, but that we were sneakily writing about each other was quite another matter altogether.
Yeah, and we hadn't really shared, because it's such a personal thing at the beginning of a relationship, isn't it, to share poetry. So yeah, this was all in. It seems so long ago now.
Years and years ago now. So actually, we've known each other for about 6 months now. Something like
that. All.
Yeah. Seems like 60 or 70 years at least.
We've been together now.
Me dear old Dutch. Yep.
So this poem is called Close. I nearly did it a few times in the graveyard. I nearly took your hand to touch you at last for the first time. But I know my ways. That would not be enough for me. I would have taken both your hands and put them round my waist and reached up and put my lips to yours. How could I not? But for now, this plague hangs close. This thing that sometimes slows a person down and sometimes kills. How could I be so weak? For now, distance is my strength. But maybe that's the wrong way round. Maybe, if you put your hand round mine, maybe I can answer such a quiet request without demanding more. Just a thought.
So that was on.
Wanting to be naughty, not supposed to touch, but just holding hands, maybe.
Yeah, had we but known about rubber gloves, Could have still kept a metre apart.
Yeah, I think actually
Very romantic.
That was definitely preferable to just not touch, actually.
So there's a piece of advice for any young lovers out there. That was on the 5th of July, and this was on the 7th of July. The most important moment of the day, knowing I will talk with you on time, my hair nicely combed when I remember, and all agush with adolescent feelings. There's no fool like an old fool. How can I feel so young? And knowing you will sweetly tolerate my infatuation. the most important moment of the week, knowing you will arrive and bring with you your smile, those eyes which so intrigue me, and your gentleness and loving assertion. The most important moment of my life, this now, this love.
Because by this point, uniquely for either of us, without ever having touched, we realised we'd fallen in love with each other. It wasn't just, oh, this is nice. Quite bizarre, bizarre.
Yeah.
But needs must during times of pandemic. I'd be really interested to know about other people's stories, actually, about
Please, yes.
Similar things. So this one's called In My Small Boat. And this one forms part of a little conversation, as it were, in poems after we had started to send them in the last few days. In John's poem mentioning the constant star, I picked up on this in this poem, and then in the next one, John picks up on something in an image in this poem as well. In my small boat. I was scared to ask you for anything, scared to accept anything at all. You offered me a lowered drawbridge and I did not move. You showed me depths and shallows and I vacillated. You strewed out your desires and I prevaricated. You spoke to me of hope and I was silent, wary, unyielding, but not retreating. Caught on the threshold, mute. But you have offered me your constant star, and with that, and without that, I am lost. I find suddenly I am too far out, too far from the shore, its coastline of life before I knew you, blank and uninviting. Heading for new shores now. I welcome, need, yearn for your constant star to accompany my clumsy journeying. So lying back in my small boat, your constant star above me, I close my eyes and find myself joyfully capsizing.
And in response, what was the date on that one?
That was the 8th of July.
So this is on the 10th of July at 5 to 4 in the morning, which is, even I'm usually in bed by then. I knew your reticence, the catalogue of smashed promises piled up behind you, piled up behind us all. I knew your reticence and your indomitable strength. Adrift these many years, yet still determined, sensibly cautious after years of self-restraint. How to offer trust, to show that the offer is true. So I told you everything I felt you must know. Anything that would help you to accept, show you my wounds and my willingness to be whole, my independence and my surrender. We all wake up adrift, far from shore, with only the recollection of the dream of certainty, safe harbour, which we believed when in infancy's protection, where was fairness, unconditional constancy. We must make a compass from the constant star, make a course and set out, knowing we shall fail, but in failure be complete. I saw you, immediately had to show there are no snares, no tricks, no traps, no crazy promises, only that I will answer everything as best I can, give everything I can in answer to your every need. Capsized in the ocean, we discover ourselves dolphins, quite different creatures from the land-bound selves we believed we were.
I remember when I read that after we capsized, find ourselves dolphins. I thought, yes, that's what we are.
Yep. So the poetry in future will be a lot of squeaks and whistles, obviously. So you translated into the small cetacean language. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I'm John Atack.
I'm Ursula Wake. Bye.